It's Not Another Buffalo Podcast, hosted by three of the most underqualified sports personalities this side of the canal. With John.
You know there's no way in hell that I can leave that in, right?
You don't think so?
Pat.
Well, to quote Rage Against the Machine, what better place than here? And, what better time than now?
And Brando.
We have this trust built on, whatever it is, like Bibles and gold bricks and whatever Brandon Bean's drinking over there.
All right, welcome back to Not Another Buffalo Podcast. I'm John. I'm here with my buddies Pat and Brando. You can find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. Before we get going here, I want to thank our sponsor, Small City Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, or manage property in Western New York, call our guy Zach Korzelius at 585-409-1088. That's 585-409-1088. Or shoot him an email at Zachary@smallcityrealestate.com. Again, buying, selling, or managing property in Western New York. So, boys, how's it going? Pat, I love when you're always trying to make me laugh during the ad reads. That always makes it easier. I love it. But how we doing, Brandon? Brandon, I want to start with you. How's the stadium, man? I just want to hear all about it.
It was fantastic, excellent, iconic, dreamy, you name it. You put the verb there. Well, I guess it'd be an adjective.
Adjective.
Put the adjective there, and it would be fitting. Super cool. The snow off of Lake Huron, as they say, it was off of. I'm driving in there. I got there super early.
Wait, sorry, like, Huron?
I believe the lake effect snow came off Lake Huron because it came down south.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. I thought that all snow was Lake Erie over there.
And they all make lake effect snow.
It's like bomb cyclone over here and insert weather term here. Yes. And there was probably some low pressure. There's probably some low pressure somewhere. Yeah, no, I'm not going to pretend to know what I'm talking about. Thing. Yeah, no.
I think I heard maybe Jeremy and Joe.
Yeah, no, I think it was. I think it was. I do remember hearing it though too, because Chris Collinsworth kept saying Lake Erie, and then Tarika was saying Superior, and Ontario. It was like a three-way ocean lake effect, ocean effect snow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have worked approximately, this is my 10th season, 12 games a year. I've gone to the playoff games, all of them except the Houston game. So, I'm at 120 plus games, and I dressed like a rookie, man. I'll tell you, I wore my basketball shoes because I thought they were going to be like real nice in traction pushing the wheelchairs. Let me tell you, they were not. I was quite cold. My feet were little ice bricks pushing those chairs in the slush. Not ideal. But we made it work. And everybody's always got good attitudes in a game like this. Everybody's in it together. The snow on the seats. Snowballs were not crazy for this game at people. When they score, throw it up in the air. The guy almost made a headline by knocking out that field goal. What happens? Right. It's like a re-kick and a penalty, right? If you get a penalty.
Wait, what happened?
Right. That seems far less dangerous than that. So somebody threw a snowball at PAT, but the snowball was close to hitting it like after it went through. So it would have been like, right. Yeah. It's not like that guy, what was that Chicago game in the 80s where the guy jumped over the tunnel and caught the ball and landed like 10 feet below. Do you guys remember that clip?
Yes.
I see that circulated every once in a while. So nothing crazy like that. But Pat, what was this like watching at home with the fan?
Well, I didn't expect it to. It was kind of like that Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. What was it, 2 weeks ago, where you're watching it and everything looks normal, and then you go and you use the bathroom or take a couple minutes away and you come back and it's just snow covered.
Yeah, white out. It's funny watching the highlights from that Cleveland Steelers game because at the beginning of when you go back to watch the highlights after watching it under snow for like 2 hours, you're like, what? This is not the same game. Like what? No. What happened there? But no, it was fun.
I took a nap before that game, so I saw like the first 5 plays, and I wake up and it's Hoth, Star Wars. So I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. So we get another Josh Allen MVP caliber highlight reel play, another play that they're going to play at his Hall of Fame induction ceremony, right? So Brandon,
does it go on Mount Rushmore? Like, which one are you knocking off?
That's what I was going to ask you, Brando. I was like, you just did your opinion of Josh Allen's top 10 plays last week. Where does this slot in? But
didn't you say that a lot of your criteria was in relation to how important to the game it was?
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So I think that's a big part of it. It might make 5. Do you remember what I had for number 5? It was the San Francisco throw, right? Or was that
No, 5 was because I knocked it out of the video because you messed up. It was
Anthony Barr.
You said no. It was the throw to not Ty Johnson. You said Ty Johnson, but it was to Latavius Murray. Sorry.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray. Yeah. So
I don't think I'd take it into the top 5 then. I think it's the number 6. I would mark it 6 because of how it was. Such a great photo of him diving over the line. Situationally, I think it does mean something though, even if it's not a close game. Just to say, I am the MVP. I am Superman. I can do this. The fact that it shows Cooper, the new guy in town, they just need to make eye contact, right? And boom, it's there just to read each other's minds like that. So I think that means something, even if it's not.
You could say it was the division clinching play.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean McDermott did go on to say, just a couple of vets making a play, I believe was his quote.
That's a really good debate. I feel like it's, we're going to have whoever does the next
top 10. Yeah, we're not doing a top 10 anymore.
I'm passing the buck, man. We're done. It's already out of date, but
it's too tough.
There is meaning to it in the fact that it is as Buffalo Bills football can get. It's Josh Allen making a gritty play for blue collar town in the snow, which we are known for, dominating a team, getting a rushing touchdown like he always has, stampeding into the goal line. He doesn't care if somebody's trying to tackle him. It's just Buffalo Bills football. And that is iconic to me and enough to mean something, even if it's not a 3rd and 12 crazy completion or, a hurl on 4th and 2 or game-winning throw. Yeah. So I do think the Chiefs play ranks higher against the Chiefs to win the game.
It's got to be, situationally.
Yes. So
I think I was gonna say, if you're going for, I don't know what criteria, pure fun, maybe, but like iconic photos, I think it's higher.
Yeah.
But like, again, it's just because of the setting, all those things that you said. So,
people that listen here, maybe this is a good thing for you. Which one do you think is better? And we cannot take recency bias into this. You're playing Pat Mahomes 4th and 2 for the 1 seed to kill the Dragon again, who has just slayed you over and over and over.
Right. Well, that's all to be determined. So the meaning of that play might be heightened if big if here, if the Chiefs lose one more game, if the Bills can either win out or the Chiefs lose 2 games, yada, yada. So if the Bills get the 1 seed, that and the AFC Championship game is played in Buffalo, this is a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
That play's significance will increase, right? Like it's all potential right now. But
beating the Chiefs
that feels good. That feels so good.
Is bigger than beating the Niners at home.
Yeah,
so that's why I still put the Chiefs ahead of it. It's a beautiful play. I love it. I'm never going to knock it. But it's so funny that we get these 2 MVP moments back-to-back weeks. How often does that happen in the NFL? Think about it.
A lot if you watch Josh Allen every week.
Well, yeah, for us. But how often,
for everyone else,
Lamar
not
break
at all.
a 70-yard run? He doesn't do it back-to-back weeks. He might get one in a season. Lamar is a great player. Joe Burrow is just, I feel bad for this guy. He's dominating, but they suck. And again, I just say, talk to Deshaun Watson after his 4-12 season in Houston after he lit up the league. So we're lucky. We're blessed. Enjoy it. Let's not argue which one's better. It's a good bar conversation.
Well, yeah. Argue in jest. Yeah.
Yes.
But not like, we're not throwing hands here. Maybe Pat wants to throw hands. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you. But.
When our children are like in their 20s and the next iteration of Josh Allen is here and the Bills are winning again and they have their podcast, they can talk about which one was better.
They'll just ask AI and
we'll be like
some sort of
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's just awesome. It's so awesome. The dude is just there is no way he's losing after getting engaged. On my birthday, by the way. Love to share that date with you, Josh.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Super awesome. Glad it happened. Great for everybody in the NFL. Everybody except Chiefs and Dolphins. The NFL is a better place because Josh Allen is in it.
I think that there might even be some Miami fans out there who are more sick of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl every year than they are the Bills beating them twice a year.
I don't know, man.
I'm not going to say that's the majority.
Again,
that's at least not the ones in the comments. Maybe I don't know. I feel like we got some good positive comments on some of the videos we put out of Josh Allen, even from
a lot of
Dolphins
bad ones
fans.
too.
But
speaking of, so that was a passing and receiving touchdown, from what I understand, that Amari Cooper play. So
yes.
We also had James Cook break a super long one in that game, right? What was it, 64 yards?
65.
So that brings him, he's still got 5 more games to go. He's tied for 5th all-time single-season rushing TDs for the Buffalo Bills. So there are 10 different players that have 11 or more touchdown rushes in a single season for the Buffalo Bills. I want to see if you guys could name at least 7. And can you tell me who number 1 is?
John, do you remember?
Number 1, I was going to say did Josh Allen tie it last year?
He is 1 behind.
I think he was 1 short. Do you remember going into the last game, we were talking about this bet if Allen was going to get it? And I think we did a trivia like this. Who else has double-digit rushing touchdowns or something like that? But the list is interesting because I don't think, is Travis Henry on this list?
Yes, he is. He has the third most. He had second most, tied with LaShawn McCoy until that point. So you can cross those 2 off the list.
LaShawn McCoy and him. Let's knock Josh off of this list, right?
Yep.
Like, got him. Are you counting Shady too?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So we got 3 out of 10.
OJ, okay, 4.
Let's go. I'm trying to do this in chronological order.
Old school guy got his name on the wall. Cookie.
Yep, Cookie Gilchrist.
Cookie Gilchrist.
Yep.
Yes. All right.
Freddie's got to be up there, right? Did he play long enough? Freddie's up there.
Fred Jackson actually only ever had 9 touchdowns in a season rushing.
Okay. We're talking seasons.
Yep.
Seasons. Okay.
Yeah, and in one season.
There is one who is rather glaring from this list.
Glaring. Willis McGahee?
Yeah, well, he's on the list. Yep, Willis.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This player won Offensive Player of the Year and I believe MVP at one point.
Thurman. Okay. That's was that the glaring obvious one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you guys have 2 more.
Give me Marshawn Lynch.
Close, but Marshawn only ever rushed for 8 touchdowns in a season. That was his max.
Is Cribbs on this list?
Yes. Joe Cribbs. I didn't even, name on the, I was thinking, heck yeah, Brando, we got 1 more.
It's going to be some no-namer. We have
no his brother calls our games all the time.
Calls our games.
Thurman Thomas would run the course of the field and then they would put this guy in goal line back.
We're talking like late 80s backup for Travis Henry or not for Thurman Thomas. Who was the first one? There's 2. He had 2 good backups. I want to say his name. Does he have the same?
He has a brother that calls our games all the time.
I'm going to though.
Lewis Riddick.
Yep.
I don't know the guy's first name. I have no idea.
Rob Riddick.
Riddick. Okay.
Yep.
Good history. All right. How many we got left, Pat?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Wow. Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
These guys.
Good job. Good for us. Look at us.
Cool.
Look at us.
Yeah. Speaking of looking at us, let's take a second and look at the Bills historically here. We are talking about a team that just clinched the division in week 13?
Yeah, week 13 going into week 14 of 18.
So
no. Yeah, week 13. Sorry. You're right.
I want to say they said the 2009 Colts were the last team to clinch their division this early. They ended up losing to the Saints in the Super Bowl that year. I have the list of the teams that have clinched their division the fastest. The 07 New England Patriots. That was going to be
my next guess.
This is a double ball buster because they clinched in that game that Tom Brady had like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Bills. So his best game of his career. They clinched.
I actually just watched highlights of that today because I was digging through clips for the video that I was making for Instagram, like the Monday Night Football loss to Dallas and the Monday Night Football loss to the Patriots, which is not the division clinching game for them. But yeah, so I got to relive that great memory today.
That game, I remember being in 9th grade. That was like the start of our freshman year, talking about that game that day. I'm like, and then coming in the next day, being like, this is terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah.
All right. So the 04 Eagles started 13-1. They clinched in week 11. And again, they lost in the Super Bowl. And then we got the Patriots.
But they made it to the Super Bowl.
Patriots also lost in the Super Bowl. I don't know if you see this trend here. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy, but
I mean, if we get to the dance,
rules are meant to be broken, Brando.
Yes. And then I got the 97 49ers, which would be Steve Young era. They lost to the Packers in the NFC Championship game. I believe that's Brett Favre.
Well,
history is on our side for a deep playoff run. How deep we go, Josh Allen, I think is This is a debate question. I'm going to say Josh Allen might be the best player on any of these teams, but Tom Brady's the GOAT. But he's not athletically as a player. We do this with Mahomes and Allen, right? Allen is more athletic, and he's better this year. Is he better historically? Is Allen better than Brady athletically as a quarterback? Maybe not with the clutchness, but athletically. Josh is going to destroy.
I don't know. He's pretty damn clutch. I mean, you think about all these playoff games where he's walked off the field with the lead.
Well, hopefully he breaks the trend and the Bills win the division and the playoff games and the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but
that'd be good.
To do that,
before we get to that, Brando, we should probably do game picks here before Pat's got to get back. Okay, nice.
Hell yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
You were about to have the best transition of the century, and I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Maybe not the century, but
let's quick pick these game picks here. Let's just go through. No support needed. I'll just go through here and we'll do our picks here. Recap last week. Pat, you went 3-3, missed a pick. Sent them late. I'm sorry. I went 5-1. Brando, you went 4-2. So as it stands right now, also Brandon, I had to correct some math on the addition. You tried to sneak out one of your losses. You were 41-37 instead of 41-36. Nice try. I'm 47-31, and Pat, you are 45-33 at the moment. So all still doing pretty good above 500. John. So I got you. You can always check. All the numbers should add up to an even number.
I was looking at your one loss is what it got me on the spreadsheet.
You're good, dude. Whatever helps you sleep at night. All right. First up, we got Green Bay going in Detroit. This is Thursday Night Football. So if you're listening to this episode on Friday and you want to make fun of us for our takes, this is a good opportunity. Pat, who you got?
Let me see here. I'm sorry. My computer is so old that I have to pull this up on my phone. Give me those Packers.
Love it. Brando.
Lions at home. They're a different animal.
Yeah. I'm not totally sure about this one. I'm going to go Detroit with the home field advantage there. If this was in Green Bay, I might pick Green Bay, but I'm going to ride Detroit.
Same.
Yeah. So, all right. The Jets going into Miami. Miami is 6-point favorites. I told you guys last week that picking Green Bay over Miami in primetime was like the lock of the century. Obviously, that came true. But Miami -6. We all feeling Miami across the board here?
Yep.
That jet plane crashed, man. Crashed hard.
Yeah. All right, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 6.5-point favorites. I'm going to take Cleveland in this one only because 6.5 points is a lot of points for an AFC North matchup, which we've gotten some of the best games this season out of the AFC North. Like the primetime games, all that stuff. It's must-watch football at this point, so I'm going to take points there. Pat, how you feel? You with me?
The Steelers looked so good last week too, but yeah, give me the Browns. That 6.5 hook.
Yep.
We can't ever get through game picks with a half a point on here without saying the hook.
It's a trigger. Brando, who you got?
Winston's praying to the Lord to not throw pick sixes, and I'm praying to the Lord that he throws one because the Steelers defense is good. I'm taking Pittsburgh here.
Love it. All right, Seattle at Arizona. Seattle's 2.5-point favorites. Who you guys got?
Give me the Cards, man. People sleep on them. This is going to be a crazy NFC West finish.
It is. They're all going to be like right around 500, and somebody who squeaks out a win in Week 17. That might be the primetime game that we're watching at the end of the season in Week 18. But Brando, what say you?
Battle of the Birds. Kyler's better than Geno.
All right.
Taking the Cards.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about this. I picked Seattle because they're favored by 2.5 and it's in Arizona. So it's like, maybe the books know something that I don't. I'd put this as a toss up, but I'm going to take Seattle because trust in Vegas on this one, I guess. Next up, the Chargers are going into Kansas City. 4-point spread. Chiefs are favored. Pat, who you got?
I'll never pick against them again, man. I swear to God. Well, at least unless they're playing the Raiders with a 12.5-point spread. But give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs for Pat. Brandon, what about you?
4 points, man. I'm taking it. These Chiefs played too close of games.
I'm taking any points against the Chiefs at this point. I think 4 points is not a ton. It's a good amount. It's not like 12.5 where I wish I had put like actual money down on Vegas last week for my game pick. But yeah, 4 points is good enough. I think the Chiefs, one of these ones, either against the Steelers or the Chargers, I would bet they drop one. So we'll see. Or both. Yeah, that'd be good too. All right. How we feeling? Buffalo at the Rams. Buffalo's only 4-point favorites in this one, which is interesting. Possible trap game.
Lock of the
Vegas.
century.
Don't say that, Brandon. I think you're 1 for 3 on locks so far this year.
I am 1-0 on locks this year.
We're 1-1 at best. We got to rewind the tape.
No, you're right, because they didn't cover. The Lions didn't cover. It was a push, right?
Yeah,
it was a 3-point favorite anyway.
It wasn't a push, but it was a loss. But
hey, if the Lions win by 3 and the other team has 3 points, it's a push. I don't lose money on DraftKings. They refund.
We're gonna have to check back in the spreadsheet here. I think it was 3.5 points. But
it was probably the half point. The
hook, bro.
Oh, there it is.
The hook. No, you're right. You're right. 1-1. Trap game? Question mark? Anybody? Matt Stafford, Nakua, Cooper?
Man, go Bills.
All right, go Bills. You didn't have to talk me into that one very much. Yeah.
All right, that's our game picks. Pat, always awesome having you on for the limited time that we can. Appreciate you, dude. Say hi to the fam for us, and we'll see you next time. Make sure you leave your window open so it can upload. You can just turn off your camera.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you guys soon.
Sweet, man. We'll see you later. So, Brando, I want to ask you something. One of the things that I wrote down during this game, the Taylor Rapp signing this offseason was something that a lot of Bills fans, myself included, kind of
scratched. He was here last year, right?
Yeah, okay, the re-signing. Yeah, so signing him to a 2-year contract extension, which basically signaled he's going to be a starting safety. After 1 year in this Bills defense where, he didn't show a ton, really. He was not a big splash player. He was a big hitter, and he was kind of known for the couple plays where he got beat. And so I know a lot of Bills fans didn't love that signing as far as that was kind of like, oh, he's going to be your safety here for 2 years. He's going to be your starter. And I think I want to give Bean a ton of credit because Rapp has been one of the better stories on this Bills defense this past year. And I know the defense is working as a whole, but he has looked great. He has played super well. The reason why I thought of it in this game was because he had the punch out against Kyle Juszczyk in the third quarter on this game. Amazing play. The
and then his punch. Blocking down the sideline after the knockout. He hustled to get there.
So that was the play that basically put the 49ers to sleep. And they were like, we just want to get to the bus after that because they conceivably could have had a chance after marching down the field on that play.
Conceivably.
And I think this was the best example of the bend don't break defense because we like to throw that around a lot.
You can't bend any more than that.
No, and not just that drive, but up until that point, the first 5 San Francisco drives had gotten into Bills territory, and I think 3 or 4 of them went into the red zone, and only 3 points to show for it to that point because of the way that the Bills, again, I'm giving a lot of credit to the Bills defense here. A lot of this was mistakes by the 49ers in the red zone, combination of both of them and the conditions and stuff like that. But man, I just want to give the Bills their flowers there because they definitely deserve it.
Historically, the Bills red zone defense has been really good, right?
Yeah.
Throughout McDermott's tenure. I want to say if you pull back a show clip from when we signed Taylor Rapp, I think we talked about it being a good signing because he can sit for a year behind Poyer and Hyde, chip in when one of them inevitably gets hurt. And I always,
it's a good signing for your it's a great signing for your safety 3. Like when they initially signed him, I think the re-signing is what we're talking about, where you're signing him to a 2-year deal to be your starter.
I mean, you know how I feel about Damar Hamlin. He has played good. He had not played good up to this year. So he had gotten exposed on the field in coverage, in run coverages, in filling the gap when you needed him to get a stop on your run defense. So I always thought Taylor Rapp was a big step up over Damar Hamlin, but seeing him,
the two of them are playing really well together right now.
Great combo, which is funny to have the 2 backups be elevated like this and to perform so well. Again, I'm not trying to hate on any of the players, but this is a McDermott thing, I think, of how good that their secondary performs when they need to. But
yeah,
Taylor Rapp's tough. He put that Guardian cap on because he's a bruiser, and it adds a layer of identity to this team. And you look at, I compare it to the Sabres, right? They got muscle around. After Ryan Miller got run over by Lucic, that's like the curse of the Bambino for us, right? That the Sabres weren't tough enough. So they got rid of all their stars and brought in Steve Ott, and Pat Coletta's playing a lot more. And these guys can't score, but they're tough. Taylor Rapp brings skill and toughness to a lineup that he's going to knock the ball out of your hands if you're not holding it tight. We've seen it happen this year, right? We've seen him separate the ball from the body like a coach wants you to. We've seen him do it pretty cleanly as well. Not throwing shade, but Jordan Poyer's taking a few flags this year. Against Buffalo famously. And I think he had another one. So they're just so complimentary of each other on the defensive side of the ball. Like Benford and Douglas just play so well with Hamlin and Rapp. And, Terrell Bernard plays well with everybody. Dorian Williams played good, but now Milano plays all these. And Cam Lewis playing great. Some guy gave me a hard time on Facebook because I called him a corner. And I'm like, I think he plays everywhere.
He does play everywhere.
I think he's listed as a corner, and then he plays safety and slot corner.
I think he's listed as a safety. He's the backup.
He's listed as a cornerback. I looked it up because I wanted to see what this guy was.
All right. Well, he's the backup nickel cornerback. I think he immediately backs up like 3 players.
Yeah. And in dime packages, he goes in. I said the guy was trolling me on Facebook because the guy was like, "What is a dime package?" And I was like, "It's when you have an extra corner defensive back,
and then take a linebacker off."
Cam Lewis is not a cornerback. He's it's when they add an extra safety, and I was like, I think defensive back qualifies everybody. Anyways. So
usually it's a safety in dime package. Usually it is a safety, but
anyway. Cam Lewis is such a great player to add to this defense because he can play all these other positions. So the complementary pieces here, Taylor Rapp fits it perfectly. And
sorry, I'm just remembering that you kind of trolled, not trolled, but you kind of took a dig at Cam Lewis like 2 weeks ago, and I remember because it was in a clip.
Yes,
it was in a clip. So
I'm giving him a little bit of no. I think I complimented Cam Lewis because you said when Taron Johnson went out, and I said Cam Lewis played good, whereas when you said Braylon Spector came in for Terrell Bernard, I was like, Spector did not play good. And
okay,
I
guess I was taking that the opposite way.
I was just in that argument of who's more valuable. It was like whose effect was more apparent when they're not on the field. And I didn't like Braylon Spector, but Cam Lewis could fit in and do a couple things.
Braylon Spector, yeah.
That guy, Spector, spectacles.
Yes.
So.
Well, how about Matt Milano coming back and playing 100% of snaps? No, not 100% of snaps. 100% of their regular nickel package snaps. The only times that he came off the field were when they went to dime, like you talked about, where they take him off. Cam Lewis comes on as an extra defensive back. I did not expect them to not ramp him up at all. He's just like
Did you see Alex Brasky? He did a video with Milano. Milano's just like monotone. So you ready to go? He's like, I'm full go. He's like, you feel good? I feel good. And like, he's playing. This guy's playing. So it's great to see him done now. Now let's bubble wrap them both because they are the linchpin, I think, to a Super Bowl run. As crazy as that might sound.
So freaking lootly.
They are so important to this defense on every level, covering. Think about these players that they're going to have to cover. Good running backs in a playoff run. Derrick Henry up the gut. Travis Kelce down the seam. Mark Andrews.
Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl.
Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, all these teams that have these weapons. You need these two guys. They are super, super important. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I am super duper happy with Dorian Williams as the next man up because we're not getting to Joe yet, which is fine. He had a couple special teams tackles. I think he had a special teams tackle. I don't want a walk-on playing starting linebacker in an NFL playoff game. No offense, Joe. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy you're on the team.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember where we left off. We had technical difficulties, so bear with us. We're talking
Bills
about
Matt
linebacker
Milano. Depth for the playoffs.
Ta-da.
That's great news.
We love it.
Great news. Yes.
We love it. But, also one thing that I forgot to mention, I just remembered this while I was making the new stream link for this, so we could do the part 2 for it. This is our 250th episode, Brando.
Oh, and I messed it up.
No, you're good.
Of Brando, 250 episodes, I've probably messed up 175 of them.
No.
Maybe
I
more.
Think you've probably only unplugged your mic in about 50 of them by accident, and most of it's not even your fault. So it's just the equipment failure. Yeah, some high
250. That's cool.
High impedance air gaps in the cord happening there. But
science.
Yeah. Basically, all I said in the clip that I posted today, and I wanted to talk to you about it, was just like, I feel grateful to be watching these games. And the snow globe thing, that just always makes for great TV, obviously. But it's like, you remember those games more than the other ones.
Yep.
And it was a great game. Josh played great. All the reasons, everything that everyone already knows. But I can't believe we get to watch Josh Allen every week. I can't believe, I waited my entire childhood, my entire life to have the guy as quarterback, right?
We got him.
And if it weren't for one more guy in the NFL, we might have some hardware at this point.
Who's drafted with the Bills pick?
But I wouldn't change a thing. Like,
no, I
wouldn't change a thing. It's like,
if people say your life flashes when you're like about to die, right? And it's like, just imagine like you're like you said. I thought about this when I was making the Mount Rushmore plays. I'm like, close your eyes and just think of the Bills. What's the first thing you see? Like word association game. Boom. I say Bills.
Josh Allen hurdling a guy.
Okay. When I do, it's like you ever seen like one of those time lapse videos of it's just in like super fast. It's all of the good, great plays, the games that I've been at, how I felt, the people I've watched them with, doing the show with you guys, being able to, I say it to my boss, I'm like super grateful for my job, right? And to be able to go to these games because I wouldn't be able to without that, and to be able to be here with you guys and connect with our friends that we don't see every day, and you move hundreds of miles away. And I met Josh Allen, right? I got a picture with the guy, and to have all these relationships that have built from the show, but it's all because the Bills are good, right? It's like the Bills are good, it helped us, right? And it's like you said, we wanted a guy that was not a bottom third guy, and we got the best guy. You could not draw a better person for Buffalo than Josh Allen. I was talking about this today, right? He's the perfect guy for this town, for this team, for the NFL to be on this team, right? So every now and then you get such a perfect match. Brady and Belichick were perfect for a while, and then they weren't. Manning and the Colts were perfect until he got his neck injury, and they're like, "Hey, you're broken, Peyton, get out." And so, I mean, how often do you see the perfect situation with, we have Mahomes in Kansas City. You could have put any quarterback there, it would have been the perfect situation for him. But, from a league-wide perspective, how often is it that you have a perfect player in the perfect situation? We got Derrick Henry with the Ravens now, probably another Hall of Fame player in a perfect situation.
Yep.
Give me another one. I don't know.
Mahomes with the Chiefs, obviously.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. We're just not forgetting about that. Yeah. I don't know. Baker, where he's at now,
it's not the same as us.
I know it's not the same. I'm just, I'm
Joe
looking
Burrow
for stuff.
In Cincinnati's not perfect. Just comment after the game was like, no, the way that this season ends, how we play these last 5 games out, it's going to show a lot about the character in the room, who's going to be back next year, who shouldn't be back next year, who should be back next year. So there's some turmoil there.
Jared Goff in Detroit, probably a good example.
Yeah, he's not like the superstar.
No, but like as far as teams and players that go together, I mean, there's a guy whose career was over almost, and all of a sudden like is now reviving the city of Detroit in a way that they haven't seen in 40 years, right? Like that's something.
Maybe the biggest win-win trade of all time. Lions give up Stafford. Yeah. I believe the picks turned out to be Jack Campbell, Jamar Gibbs, Jamison Williams, and Jared Goff.
And Sam Laporta. Sam
Laporta. That's the other ones. That's a haul. And that's a great trade.
That's a real big haul. And the Rams got a Super Bowl out of it.
Exactly.
So even if Stafford doesn't win another game for the Rams, they got what they needed out of it.
Yep.
And, all I need is one. Like at this point, when we started this show, I was like, I mean, we were just riding so high with Josh Allen and so excited to have the QB that we're like, man, we're going to go win 4 in a row and correct the faults of the 90s. And, like, be right in the universe. I know it's not too late for 4 in a row, but I've definitely I'll just one is enough. Like all I need is one, but we'll get to the next ones after it. But yeah, we'll have stuff to talk about then. But yeah, I just give me one.
Okay. So couple interesting things here. Jim Kelly was 30 in 1990. Josh Allen's 28 now. And then this is interesting. So I always like Bulldog on the radio. He talks about this with his fandom with the Boston Red Sox, how he was so into their chase of the World Series that when they finally won one, he was like, I don't need to pay for MLB season ticket. I'm fulfilled. And for me, it's like, we want one. We want it really bad. But after that, just because of the Mahomes trade, go catch him, right? Be in the argument. Mahomes is in the GOAT argument, and Allen's right there. If he is right there, and it is not been his fault.
It's got a lot of Super Bowl catching up to do, but it's possible. It's really possible.
But if he gets 2 and Mahomes has 3, it's an argument. Make it an argument. And if Mahomes is pushing Brady right now, people are arguing about greatest of all time. I don't think Brady gets knocked off the horse with 7. And just how long he played statistically, that's crazy. But again, there's the coach quarterback combination, right? And had Bruce Arians too. So Brady got lucky, but had a lot of good stuff around him. It meant nothing, anyways, I'm kidding. But to have Allen
we have a lot of pent up drought anger that comes out every once in a while. That's all right.
Allen gets an MVP this year. He gets some hardware. He builds the resume. If he, wins a Super Bowl, gets to the Super Bowl, there's so much room for him to catch Mahomes, like historically, that I think that's what we like. I'll be super happy with one, but that, if we get one, let's ride, man. Let's go after it.
That's a conversation for after the one, though, right?
Let's be historic.
Yeah.
These guys are that good, though. They're that good.
I think it's fun to think about that stuff. And anyone who's like, don't jinx it, don't talk about this stuff before it happens. Like, that's for the players. The players shouldn't look ahead or look past any game. We as fans can look past anything we want. Like, we can imagine the Super Bowl. Imagine hanging out with your friends watching the Super Bowl. Like, I was thinking today, I was like, what would it take to get our gang of friends together to go down to New Orleans last second and make this happen?
Last second, I'd go. I'd do it. But it's financial, right?
It's always financial. Yeah.
My nightmare is it's like
we'd have to get media passes, and that's not happening. So
the nightmare
you think about it.
Bills play Super Bowl. So where are we going to watch it? Because it's like, do you rent a conference room at a hotel, right? It's like, how do you get 20 people? People's going to want to watch it with their families too, right? So it's like, but it's friends and family, like a huge group of people. Where do you put them? Do you rent a movie theater out? Do you rent the hotel so you can celebrate after, but you got to be in Buffalo for when the Bills fly back or whatever, meet him at the airport. The logistical makes me anxious, excitingly, but it's like, let's make it happen. I want to have this problem, right?
Right. Man, I just, somebody the other day asked me, like, a non-Bills fan asked me, like, would you cry if the Bills won a Super Bowl? I was like, bitch, I would cry if they won the AFC Championship. Like, of course. Like, it's... Yeah, I didn't mean to say that too loud. My significant other's probably like, why are you yelling at stuff? We got to go somewhere.
We're about to be late and you're swearing at the computer.
Yeah, probably. So,
well,
anyway, with that, we should get out of here because I do have to go here. But you guys know where to find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. Brandon, you can finish your thoughts. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I don't remember what I was saying. I was just excited. I'm excited. Yeah.
Excitement, pure excitement. Enjoy the ride. I'm enjoying it, and I'm trying to savor every last moment because, again, like, if they win the Super Bowl after the Super Bowl, like, all we have is memories of what we're experiencing right now, which is pretty cool. So
let everybody doubt us again. Keep it happening.
It's been fun.
My cat just fell in the garbage can.
Oh no, you might need to go attend to that. All right, you can find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys last week. We'll talk to you guys next week. And as always, go Bills.
Go Bills.